Hello, everyone, and welcome here to Kessler Field for the 103rd meeting all-time here, and perhaps the marquee rivalry in Western New York. It is the CANISIUS Crusaders taking on the St. Joseph's Marauders. I'm Tanner Saunders. I'll be your play-by-play voice this afternoon. Pleased to be joined on color by Tom Prince. And before we get too far into this one, let's take a moment to thank our featured sponsors that make today's broadcast possible, those being Damon University. Damon University is a private non-sectarian university in Amherst, New York, offering undergraduate and graduate level degrees. Visit damon.edu to schedule a tour today. Richmond Vona. Richmond Vona LLC is committed to you. Being involved in a serious accident creates a whirlwind of changes. We know how serious the effects of a car accident can be on the victims and their families. At Richmond Vona LLC, we have helped our clients recover over $175 million. We have the skills and experience needed to handle a full range of car accident claims, including those with multiple parties and catastrophic injuries. Call 716-671-4341 for your free consultation today, or visit richmondvona.com. Logistics Plus of Buffalo for all your transportation needs. Full truckload, LTL, dedicated, and drop trailer moves. Logistics Plus of Buffalo is a one-stop shop. Email buffalo@logisticsplus.com for your next shipment or warehousing needs.
Fitness is a full-service provider of specialty home and commercial fitness equipment. Locations in Buffalo, Syracuse, and Rochester. Visit livefit.com. Wingnuts Buffalo, located near the Buffalo Airport at 4600 Genesee Street. Dine in or order for takeout. Open Monday through Sunday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Visit wingnutsbuffalo.com. SUNY Portland stands out as one of the New York's top public universities, a medium-sized school that offers academic strength across 68 majors, a high quality of student life, and a degree that pays back graduates. Visit www.cortland.edu to schedule a visit today. We would also like to thank Pathfinder College Planning, Dan Cha-Cha Injury Attorneys, 510 Toy Shop and Sports Cars, The Mental Match with Sam Recco, Canisius High School, St. Joseph's Collegiate Institute, St. Francis High School, the Trench Trophy recognizing the top linemen in Western New York, Lewis & Lewis PC, 37 Franklin Street, Buffalo, New York, Colvin Cleaners on Elmwood Ave in Kenmore, New York, B&T Supply, and Western Division.
All right, and again, we'd like to thank those sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Again, Tanner Saunders and Tom Prince on hand here. And Tom, I want to start off with you right off the bat here. Before we even talk about the game, how about just this atmosphere? As I mentioned, it's the 103rd meeting between these two teams all time. This perhaps the marquee rivalry in Western New York high school athletics. And I'll tell you, I got here at 12:30 on the nose, and the parking lot was damn near full even at that time when I got here. So that just goes to show the amount of people here, and it's not every game. It's not many games that I can say that for, and we can see in the stands here packed to the gills on both sides. So just talk about that a little bit, Tom. It's not often we get to take in an atmosphere like this for a high school game.
Really isn't, and it is still people trying to get in here. The parking lot is full, and to add on to the parking lot is full. If you go out to the main street, which is Clinton Street out there, you can see cars lined up. I want to say it's when I saw earlier, it was about a half a mile, 3/4 of a mile long out on that street. So I can imagine what it is now for people to just walk down to try to get into this game.
No doubt about it. Now, talking about the game itself, these are two teams that are held in high regard by the media here in Western New York. The Buffalo News has the Crusaders ranked at 2 and the Marauders at 5 in their large school poll. Our own Frank Wolf has Canisius number 1 and Joe's number 3 in his large school power rankings. Tom, I know you have them ranked at 2 and 3 respectively, so it's going to be a good one between these two teams here. Looking at Canisius, they come into this game with a 1-2 record, coming off 2 straight losses against Ohio powerhouses. They lost to the defending state champions Ironton and another top 10 program in Walsh Jesuit. Meanwhile, looking at St. Joe's, they come into this game 2-1, and for both these teams, it's their first Monsignor Martin contest of the season. St. Joe's lost their season opener to New York City powerhouse Cardinal Hayes, but have won the last 2 straight, including a 41-point shutout victory over St. Andrews College. And talking about some of the keys to this game, Tom, a couple things that stick out to me is the run game for Canisius and conversely the run defense for St. Joe's. Canisius coming off a rather pedestrian performance by their standards. They ran for 77 yards as a team last week on 2.7 yards per carry, their lowest mark in both those categories since week 2 of last season when they lost against Washington of Massillon, Ohio, where they ran for 68 yards as a team on 3 yards a carry. And before I go any further, we will take a moment to honor America with the playing of our national anthem. All right, so that does it for the anthems for both teams. So getting back to it, I mentioned Canisius had a relatively pedestrian game by their standards in the run game last week. However, they have dominated the ground in this series in recent memory. Over the last 4 meetings, Canisius has outgained Joe's on the ground 1,189 to 230. They've scored 18 rushing touchdowns to 0 for St. Joe's. Elijah Kimball himself has outrushed the entire St. Joe's team 671 to 230 over that 4-game span and scored 12 rushing touchdowns, 0 for Joe's. And I'm not saying that to dog on Joe's. I'm just saying how effective Canisius has been able to run the ball in recent memory in this series. So for me, that's one thing I'm looking at. Can Canisius get Kimball in the run game going at large? And conversely, can that St. Joe's defense hold Canisius and the run game in check like they were held in check last week? Also, Tom, the trenches. Both of these teams could look radically different in the trenches. You look at Canisius, they lost the likes of Patrick Enright, Mason Allnut, George Wiley, Amari Wallace. Joe's, they lost Jeremiah Guerrero, Peyton Brock. So it'll be interesting to see how the battle of the trenches plays out, given the makeover that each of these teams has undergone in the trenches to various degrees.
Yeah, no doubt. That's something that every year from year to year as graduation happens, that's some of the things that you're going to look at to see how you're going to replace that. And then also, I want to say it was 33 seniors that St. Joe's graduated last year. So you're replacing a lot of senior leadership when you talk about a team that's out there. Also, when the run game, when we talk about Canisius, don't forget to also add in Amir Hernandez into that, because he will be running the ball at just not as much as Kimball, but he will be running the ball a lot as well too. Both of them with Division I offers. We found out the other night that Kimball is sitting at 37 Division I offers right now is where he's sitting at. Amir Hernandez has 2 himself. So that's 39 Division offers in that backfield right now for Canisius that's out there.
You talk about some of the seniors that graduated for Joe's last year. They lost their starting quarterback, Noah Klein. They lost their 2 top running backs, Giorgio Panapinto and Dominic Cook Jr. Not that he graduated. He just transferred over to Francis. We saw him last week. They lost their number 1 wide receiver, George Coons. And then I mentioned in the trenches, they lost both Jeremiah Guerrero and Peyton Brock. Both of them are now members of the football team at Findlay University. Another thing that I'm looking out for in this game is who can get off to a fast start. Neither one of these teams have been able to do that this season. Canisius has been outscored by 29 points in first quarters so far this year, and they've been shut out in the first quarter in each of the last 2 games.
I'll tell you this. There is a reason that both of these teams go out of the area to play. They prep to get ready for these games. They prep to get ready for the rivalry game that's here, and then also the St. Francis games. Those are 2 games for each of these teams that you're prepping for and getting ready for. And it means you have to go out and play some great teams to get ready for what you're going to see inside this Monsignor Martin Conference.
No doubt about it, and we will see the St. Joe's offense on the field first. This one fielded inside the 15, and now here goes the return, falling forward to the 30-yard line. So we will see this Joe's offense on the field for the first time here today. It was returned by Jay Ostrander. As I mentioned, Joe's is coming off of a 41-point shutout victory over St. Andrews College out of Canada. That was their first shutout win since September 16th, 2023, when they shut out, coincidentally, St. Andrews. Last time they had a 40-point shutout was October 19th, 2019, when they beat Cardinal O'Hara 41-0. They have 3 wide. Here's the shotgun snap, and the give goes to Owen Kaczynski, and he is taken down after a short gain there on 1st and 10.
I'll tell you this, before when we interviewed both of these coaches on Wednesday night on our show, one of the things that Coach Corona had said was his line, they're averaging 295 a guy on their line. This is the type of lines that we are seeing on both sides of the ball that are teams that have gone on to win championships.
2nd down, Brandon Keel looked like he was going to throw, and then he calls his own number, and on the run there, he's taken down around the 40-yard line. That'll bring up the first 3rd down of the game. And now they're going to move the chains. They say 1st down, so Kyle doing it with his legs. He's got 2 passing touchdowns as well on the season, does the junior signal caller. Here's the 1st down snap. The give to Owen Kaczynski. Bounces this one off the left side of the formation. Now going toward the sidelines, and he gets taken down there by Hernandez after a short gain.
Great job right there. You saw Hernandez's speed as he gets out to that before he could break that turn and go right up the sideline. That's what you've got to do as a defender, and that's a great play right there by Canisius and Hernandez.
Again, they go 3 receivers here on 2nd down. 1 back, 1 tight end. The snap looked like Kyle wasn't expecting it there, so he just had to fall on it to avoid a potential travesty there, and that'll put him behind the sticks for this 2nd down.
Yeah, he didn't. You could see he was actually looking the other way. Thank God that wasn't even worse. It actually went to his feet, so he was able to stop that. If not, that could have gone a play that went behind him really awry and could have been a big positive play for Canisius.
So now it's the first 3rd down of the game. Stone Rozak, the tight end, in motion. Kyle, the play fake, looking, pressured immediately, and down he goes. Javez Caldwell gets the sack, and that should put an end here to this first drive of the game for Joe's.
Great job coming off the end right there. You could see he was almost untouched out here. He gets set, look at, you could see him here on the outside, gets and cuts it in. Did you see him break in right there? As he cuts in right there on the offensive lineman and does a great job of getting to the quarterback. That's going to be a matchup we're going to have to look at as this game goes on, because he really did get back there pretty easily.
That's the senior Javez Caldwell with the sack. Now the punt is going to take a Joe's bounce and will come to a rest here inside the 20-yard line. So we will see this Canisius offense on the field for the first time today. They were shut out last week against Walsh Jesuit High School out of Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, 38-0. The last time Canisius was shut out in a game was October 21st, 2016, and a 7-0 home loss to Bishop Timon St. Jude. That was almost 8 years and 11 months ago. So certainly they want to come out swinging here on the season, averaging 20.7 points per game through the first three. And they come out no quarterback. Kimball is going to be the Wildcat quarterback here, and he takes the direct snap, and he flips it back. They're going to throw it here. Going long. Cullinan's open behind the defense, and it's just off his fingertips.
Wow. We almost had this whole place go nuts on the first play of the game right there. What a great time to take a shot right there. I love the call, and you're all talking about inches from making this a big one. Like you said, you think he's going to go, and you got to respect Kimball on the run right there. And look at this, wide open and just off his fingertips. Almost has a big play. But you know, if you see him in Wildcat, you got to respect that out there, because you're going to expect you're going to run, and that's when you bring more guys into the box.
Now they get their tried and true signal caller out there, Mateo Brusco. Here goes Kimball, and he's got green grass. Kimball gets behind the defense, and he's going to take it all the way, 83 yards to the crib for Elijah Kimball.
I mean, that went right up the middle right there. That is all your line. And then you see how fast Kimball really is. When he gets into the open field, it is going to be tough to run that young man down, and he proves it right there. Second play of the game, and you see how electric this offense is for Canisius.
So Elijah Kimball houses it on the second play from scrimmage. That's his longest run of the season. His previous long was 72. That one went for 83. Now Lucas Bonilla is on to attempt the PAT for the Crusaders. On the season, he's 5 for 7 on point after attempts. Snap down, kick on the way. That one is low and blocked, so the score will remain 6-0 with 8:53 left here in quarter number one.
Here's the replay right here, and look at this. Look at that gap that opened up right there. He followed his followed his lineman right into that hole right there. You saw the linemen were pushing out towards that St. Joe's sideline. What a great job. That hole opened up beautifully. He read it, followed his block. That was a great job by Lyman and Kimball.
One thing I didn't have time to mention in the pregame is that Elijah Kimball is chasing history in this game. Now, after that run, he is only 35 yards away from breaking Quadri Olison's career rushing yards record of 4,147 here at Canisius High School. Olison, of course, graduated from Canisius in 2014, spent the next 4 years at the University of Pittsburgh, became a fifth-round pick of the Atlanta Falcons in 2019, scored a touchdown on his first career carry in Week 12 of the 2019 NFL season, ran for 158 yards, 5 touchdowns over 24 games, which he appeared during his NFL career. So now, after that run, Kimball only 35 yards away from etching his name further into the record books here at Canisius. Here's the return for Joes. They get up past the 40-yard line. They were able to muster 1 first down on that last drive, but not too much else after that. Javez Caldwell put an end to the last drive with a third down sack. We'll see what the offense has here this time around.
Now, let's go back to the first drive for St. Joe's. What worked well for them early on? It was running the ball straight up the middle as well. Did you see that the first couple plays that were successful? It was the runs up the middle. That's something you're going to need to see if you could keep doing right now, because so far defensively, you saw when they went to the pass, Canisius had it, and also when they went to the edge, Canisius covered it. You got to figure out where you could go right now.
First down, play fake. Kyle is dumping it off short. It is caught by Owen Kaczynski. He shakes one defender and then takes a hard hit over there on the far sideline from Xavier Gates Franklin, but that'll make it second down and short. They said it was Thompson on the receptions. That'll bring up second down and 2. Brendan Thompson Jr., the senior wide receiver. Second down and short. Kyle, short drop, now looking to escape and trying to take it up the middle, and it looks like he picked up a yard there, if anything. So third down and short upcoming here for the Marauders.
You know, we've seen, Tanner, you and I have done a lot of games already this year.
And we did the playoff game last year between these two teams.
But I just want to compare against all the teams we've seen. Have you seen the size of a line that you're seeing against any team that we've seen out so far?
I don't think so. These are two beefy lines for both teams, as there's the carry. First down for Becker. There is a flag down.
Flags all the way in the other side of the field. You're going to see it at the 41-yard line on the other side of the field.
Still discussing. It looks like it's going against the Crusaders here. That's the first penalty against either team, and it's going to be a first down.
Yeah, you knew it was going against Canisius just because we saw everybody cheer over on the St. Joe side. That's the only reason we saw it, because we saw that the ref was turned the other way to make that call, so we didn't get a chance to see exactly what it was.
So first down and 10 for the Marauders. This their first time entering Canisius territory. Here's Kyle, takes the shotgun snap. Here's the play fake. He's going to throw over the middle. That pass is caught and surviving a big hit there, and a flag comes in at the end of the play. Jay Ostrander, what a grab.
The fact that he held on to that ball was amazing. They're going to say this is hit against a defenseless receiver is going to be my guess, just because of how late the flag was thrown after the play.
And it is indeed against the Crusaders. So back-to-back penalties against the Canisius defense. And now Joes has worked their way down into the red zone here on drive number 2.
What a great catch, though, honestly. There aren't many people that are going to keep holding on to that, and we got the replay right here. Just look at the way that he holds on to that. First of all, great job getting the pass off quickly. Good job by the line to give him some room, but bam, the hit, and he holds on to it. What a great catch.
Big hit there applied by Jalen Hawkins. Now back at it here, and touchdown Joes. Kyle calls his own number, and he'll score from 11 yards out and tie this game up at 6. And hold up, the referees are conferencing here.
Yeah, I don't see a flag. That doesn't mean there isn't a flag, though. Yeah, there is in the end zone. It's all the way in the end zone is where the flag is.
So that'll wipe that off the board. First penalty on Joes today, and it takes 6 points off the board here early.
Well, I'll tell you, this drive, it's really been about the penalties so far on this drive and the reason for the movement either way.
So that'll back him up here. Still first down.
So the reason why it didn't go from the line of scrimmage, folks, is because the flag was thrown in the end zone. So it's where the hold took place. That's where the 10 yards comes in. That's why it looks like it goes back to the line of scrimmage.
First down, Kyle pitches it to Kaczynski. Now puts his foot in the ground, cuts it upfield, and he'll pick up a few there on first down and 10. Owen Kaczynski had a monster showing in week 2 against Jamestown. 12 carries, 233 yards, 2 touchdowns, had a 37-yard touchdown on their second offensive play and a 67-yarder on the first play of the third quarter. He was named a Connolly Cup Player of the Week for week 2. has 300 yards through the first 3 games of this season, averaging 100 yards per game, 9 yards a carry. So he has been on a heater to open up this year. He's going to get the ball again. No, it's a reverse, and now coming near side, down inside the 5, but not reaching the end zone there. Looks like that's Deion Cheatham Jr. Or they say 13, Cameron Chin on the carry. So 3rd down and very short here. Under 6 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Stone Rozak goes in motion. Now Keel's going to get under center, or Kyle, excuse me, calls his own number, pushing him into the end zone. There is a flag down. They signal touchdown, but the penalties are going against the offense.
That was illegal motion right there is what that was. Again, goes backwards again. I mean, this drive has just been marred by penalties for both teams.
4 penalties all coming on this drive, 2 apiece.
And 2 personal foul penalties that were called against Canisius on this one, too, that really put big yardage right there for St. Joe's to get them down closer to the end zone here.
3rd down, Kyle takes the snap. He's going to roll to his right. Now going back left. Can he get to the end zone? He takes a hit there at the goal line, and they're going to mark him short, but it is good enough for a first down. They could still get the first down there without scoring the touchdown. So Kyle will make it goal to go.
What a hit right there at the goal line.
Did indeed get walloped right there, but you love to see that from your quarterback. You don't want him taking those hits all the time, but 3rd down to extend the drive down in the red zone, especially in a game like this, you kind of have to put your body on the line.
But it looked like right there that he was going to get in easily, and out of nowhere comes Floyd to be able to make that big hit.
So goal to go here for Joe's. Kyle's going to call his own number once again, and can he get there? No, and there is a flag down as well. Darnell Gallimore was in there, among others, for the stop for the Crusaders.
Got to think this is going to be another hold call right here where that was.
And you are correct. So Joe's racking up the penalties here. Now 3 on them, and this one will back them up. Luckily still first down, so plenty of times to dig themselves out of this miniature hole they've dug themselves in.
Hey, the only thing that may be negative for Canisius so far is that their defense has been out there so much because they only ran 2 plays on offense.
So first down and goal. Stone Rozak goes in motion to the left side of the offensive formation. Now comes back right. Here's the snap. Kyle, the play fake. Now looking, throws it short, and it's dropped by Stone Rozak. Stone Rozak had a very solid outing the last time these 2 teams played in the Monsignor Martin semifinals. He had 3 receptions for 18 yards and 2 touchdowns in that game.
They played in the finals, didn't they?
No, they were semifinals, and then Canisius lost to Iona Prep, I believe.
Right, that would have been the finals. That was the Monsignor Martin finals, but then they went on to the state championship.
Yes, you're right. My bad. Here is Kyle. He's escaping pressure, and down he goes.
That was a one-arm tackle right there by number 60, Oliveira. Unbelievable. He held on with his one arm to be able to get him down. Watch this. Out of nowhere comes the one arm and brings him down. Oh, wow, what a tackle right there, especially from your man up the middle.
Gabriel Oliveira making the play. You are correct, Tom. It was the Monsignor Martin finals last year. These 2 teams played 32-22, and then in the Catholic State Championship, Canisius would go on to lose. Here's the 3rd down play. Kyle throws, and it is caught! Touchdown, Jay Ostrander from 18 yards out. Threading the needle was Kyle. Makes a big-time throw on third down, and this game is tied.
That literally was threading the needle because it looks like right there that Gallimore is going to get a hand on this, the way he lays out to try to make the ball and knock it down. Unbelievable play again just from both sides of the ball right here. This has just been something to watch in some of these plays early on in this game.
And now on for the PAT snap spot. Kick is up, and the kick is good. That was a perfect throw there from Kyle. He layered that in perfectly, got it over Arno Mbayo, the linebacker, somehow got it past Darnell Gallimore, and found his man Jay Ostrander. What a throw.
It really was. Junior. I mean, he threw it where only his man could get it, and that's exactly. Watch this, though, Tanner. Check out the throw right here. Look at Gallimore. Did you see him lay out? He just missed it right there, and the only way for him to catch it was to throw right where it was. What a great throw and catch.
No doubt about it. Phenomenal throw there. And for Jay Ostrander, that's now 3 straight games with a receiving touchdown. Had receiving touchdowns in week 1 and 2. So 3 straight games, 3 straight touchdowns for Jay Ostrander. And after the PAT, Joe's on the high side, 7-6.
I'll tell you, you know this is a big game. And I want you to look across the way where Joe's is standing up on there. They got something over there to be able to make sure they get guys that can see the game out over there.
The stands packed to the gills here on both sides.
Yeah, standing room only, all over the place. It goes all around the field.
Now on the return, here comes Eli Kimball, and he is going to fall forward to the 29-yard line as we go back to the touchdown here for Joe's.
Just what a play. It really was.
Now second drive of the game here for Canisius. Their last one, 2 plays, an incomplete pass on a trick play, and then Eli Kimball took it 83 yards to the house, and now he is only 35 yards away from passing Quadri Olison as the all-time leading rusher in Canisius history.
And if that first play hit, it was going to go for a touchdown. So you could talk about the first 2 plays that they've drawn up could have been touchdowns.
And Brusco sends a man in motion, and it's going to be a give to Amir Hernandez. Here goes Hernandez, taken down on the near side of the field. Looks like a pickup of about 5. First touch of the day for Hernandez. And this team is similar to the team we saw last week, St. Francis, in a way, Tom, where they have these 2 running backs, but it's more like a 1A, 1B situation, as we saw with Cook Jr. and Clark, even though he didn't play last week. But this team, very similar. They have 2 teams that could be number 1 running backs on any team.
Absolutely. This is, no doubt, when you look at both sides of the balls there, when you talk about 2 running backs, in Western New York, the best backfields could sit here at Canisius and St. Francis. When you talk about multiple running backs in the backfield, that's exactly what we see, and they really are superb. And Clark came back last night, had multiple touchdowns last night against Cathedral Prep. So he is back, and both the backfields are full and strong for all these teams.
For Amir Hernandez, on his career, played 24 games. This is number 25. He's got 1,080 total yards, 12 total touchdowns to go along with 123 total tackles, 6 TFLs, sack, forced fumble, fumble recovery, 11 passes defensed, 6 picks. Hernandez, his career against St. Joe's, averages about just shy of 64 yards a game, and he gets his first touch there. So now 2nd down and 4, 2:40 left here in the first quarter. Mateo Brusco, the native of Vaughan, Ontario, Canada, in the shotgun here. As now the refs over on the far side of the field talking things over with one another. And now we're all set. Here's the second down snap. Brusco, the give, right up the middle. Amir Hernandez, and now he turns on the Jets. Hernandez is going to take it all the way for the touchdown. 65 yards for Amir Hernandez, and Canisius retakes the lead here in the late stages of the first.
Think about this. Oh, it's 150 yards of rushing right here inside the first quarter for Canisius. 150 yards in the first quarter. And you've seen why both of these running backs have the Division I commits. They get out into the open space, you can see the speed, and if they need to be a power running back, both of these two are capable of doing that as well.
Amir Hernandez, that's his 4th touchdown in his career against Joe's. And now Canisius will line up to go for 2 here. They attempted a kick after their first touchdown. It was low and blocked. And there is a penalty on Canisius after the play.
He pointed at Joe's, though. And then he pointed the other way. So, but it looks like this is going to go against Canisius right here. We do have a score update from Section 6. Kenmore West is leading Frontier 13-0 with 6:19 left in the first.
So now with the penalty, they're going to send out the PAT unit here, Will Canisius, and it's going to be a different kicker this time around. Last time it was Lucas Bonilla. Now it's going to be Lucas Schmitz-Matos. He has attempted a PAT this year, 1 for 1. And for Schmitz-Matos, that one is up and no good. He missed it. So special teams giving Canisius some issues here. That's been about the only problem they've had in this game thus far. 2 missed PATs. It's 12-7 here with 2.5 left in the first.
Look at that, right through the hole, and then look at the breakaway speed. Just breaking away from everybody, making sure he can't get caught into the end zone. And I'll tell you, as far as kicking goes today, Tanner, there is the wind that is blowing from the St. Joe's sideline over to Canisius. This went wide left over here, and that's how the wind is blowing. So you wait to see if this is going to have an effect on some things out here today, because it is blowing, and those flags you could see are standing up to blowing across. So it could have an effect somewhat in this game, especially on any kind of field goals that are out there. But special teams now has become a major impact in this game. Canisius now is going to need to find a way to go 2 points from here for multiple times, especially if St. Joe's can keep answering.
Now 2 drives, 2 scores for the Crusaders. Here's Lucas Bonilla, boots it, and it is picked up, and now returning past the 20, 25, 30. A little bit of running room here. Now taken down up past the 35-yard line. It was Dion Cheatham Jr. So Joe's will have it at their own 38 here.
And I'll tell you, Tanner, that could have been a bad play. He actually turned something that could have been a negative into a positive right there and gave his team some decent field position. But if that would have skirted either way, left or right or behind him, that could have been where a bad starting position for St. Joe's to start this drive off.
Last drive for Joe's, they were able to strike pay dirt from 18 yards out. Brendan and Kyle found Jay Ostrander. And now on first down, it's going to be a give to Owen Kaczynski, and he is met and stacked up in the hole there.
And I'll tell you, what a great job of filling the hole right there by T.J. Shuford. Did a great job. You see him get into the hole to be able to make that spot. That's what you need your linebackers to do, is fill those holes, and he filled it beautifully and got the tackle.
Terrence Shuford Jr., only a freshman, but he's already got some looks from college programs, Syracuse, Bowling Green. So he might be the next great player for this Canisius program here, someone to keep an eye on as Kyle keeps it himself, and there is a flag down along the near side of the field here.
Yeah, if you actually watched, that was actually Shuford who goes into the backfield again, and the offensive lineman threw him down and then laid on top of him, and that's the reason was he was on his stomach right there, and that's one of the biggest reasons for that call. And I'll tell you, that's a big man that's out there. It's number 79, Lucas Bowman, who's the offensive lineman. 6'4", 370 he's listed at out there. But this one's going to go against St. Joe's right here. And, again, you got to think that Canisius is going to go after these guys, especially because this is considered a passing down.
Oh, yeah, you know those pass rushers love their long down and distance. They can pin those ears back and just tee off on the quarterback. Here's Kyle, takes a short drop, now throws near side. It's batted up into the air and caught out of bounds there by one of the Canisius coaches. Good catch there, but it's going to remain third down for the Marauders.
Even with the catch, it still would have been 3rd and 10 right there.
The intended target there was Aiden Gunther, the junior pass catcher. Needed all 6'4" of that frame there and still was unable to come down with it. Here's Kyle. He's going to throw to Kaczynski on a screen, and he's got some room here along the far sideline, lunging forward down to about the 35-yard line. Didn't even make it back to the original line of scrimmage, so 4th down upcoming, and looks like another punting situation here for the Marauders.
And Tanner, that's a great play, especially when you see the defense penetrating in. A screen, a quick out, those are great plays, especially when the defense is getting penetration into the backfield. So I do like the call, just unfortunately may have been a better call on the 2nd down to give you a better chance on 3rd down because it would have been a more manageable play right there.
4th down, here comes the punt. This one high in the air, and they're going to let it go, and it's going to take a Joe's bounce here and go down inside the 15-yard line. Looks like finally dies at the 14. So back comes the Crusader offense. 2 possessions, 2 rushing touchdowns from Elijah Kimball and Amir Hernandez, 83 yards and 65 yards respectively.
Well, that other game that we just gave a score update's getting out of hand over at Kenmore West. Kenmore West now leads 21-7 over Frontier. 2 scores in 5 minutes in that game, and it's 1:09 left in the first.
Been a fast-moving first quarter here from Kessler Field. 25 seconds remaining.
Chautauqua Lake, Westfield, Brockton at halftime with CSP. It's 7-6 in that game.
And here we've got 12-7 in favor of the Crusaders. There goes a man in motion. Here's Mateo Brusco. Now another motion, and it's going to be a give on a little jet sweep there. And it's going to be a short gain on first down. Well, actually a long gain on first down. Jalen Hawkins, he's going to pick up the first down.
Well, I'll tell you that. You got 3 different guys that have run the ball already here in the first quarter. You can see on different drives. But Canisius just showing how strong that run game is. And I have really liked this offensive line that we've seen from Canisius because those holes have opened up nicely. You started this whole thing off in the beginning. That said, one of the biggest questions were going to be, how did Canisius overcome that line, what they had to graduation? Guess what, Tanner? They've overcome it.
They have really indeed. End of one, it is 12 Canisius, 7 Joes. We'll step aside and be back for the start of the second quarter here on Western New York Athletics.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs. More information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Explore your next idea. Blaze new trails. Imagine new ways to do things. What will you do next?
Start of the second quarter here. It is 12. Elijah Kimball is going to run not only into the end zone, but into the record books here as he stands alone as Canisius' all-time leading rusher.
And that late flag is going to be a celebration flag is what that's going to be right there.
"77 yards there for Elijah Kimball, and we'll check the penalty here as well.
So I'll tell you this. I would expect right now that St. Joe's, being what they did last time, they're going to go 15 yards out here and try to make them do another harder extra point. Oh, wait a second.
Like
that was against St. Joe's is what it was.
Yes.
Just put up the touchdown sign. Yeah, so this is what it had to be. It had to be against Canisius. Touchdown is good, and they're exactly what I said St. Joe's was going to do. They are going to now bring the 15 yards off of that, so it's a harder extra point again. That's exactly what's going to happen. But he did point the opposite way.
So the touchdown does stand. Here is Lucas Schmitz-Matos onto the extra point, missed his first attempt. They are 0 for 2 on the day on point after kicks. This one on the way and doinked it, no good. So again, special teams rearing its ugly head here for Canisius. 0 for 3 on PATs. Here's the touchdown for Kimball.
So we missed the very beginning of it, but the beginning, you see the way he moved east and west in the hole? He moved east and then west and then boom, took off straight down the middle. What a great job. You can see the way he moved inside that hole to then break it open afterwards. What a great job there by Kimball. I mean, wow, what else do you say? We use so many adjectives when it comes to this young man and what he's capable of, but what we've seen so far from the rushing attack here inside this first quarter and the couple seconds here in the second quarter has just been unbelievable to watch. Now watch him shift in the hole here. See, watch? See how he goes left and then right and then breaks it right up the middle? Just a little movement with his feet. But that little movement with his feet is really what created the separation factor right there.
Last week against Ironton with his 2 touchdowns, he passed Quadri Olison for most touchdowns in Canisius history. And now with 160 yards on his rushing touchdowns alone today, he is the all-time leading rusher in Canisius history. He came into this game 29th place on the all-time Western New York rushing yards list. And depending how good of a game he has, which he's on pace for a really good one, if he were to reach his career high of 323 today, that would move him into 19th place all time on the Western New York career rushing yards list.
And he's only a junior.
Right.
And he shares touches in the backfield with another young man who is electric. That just shows you what kind of running game is here at Canisius right now.
I mean, Kimball, he has boundless offers to play Division I football, 37 to be exact, from some of the biggest programs that you know and love: Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon, which was the first offer he got midway through his freshman year, Penn State, Purdue, UCLA, Washington. He was a guest of Ohio State's at their season opener earlier this year against Texas, so this kid is the real deal.
Well, I wouldn't mind being at that Penn State-Oregon game today. It's the whiteout for Penn State. You know how many people they're expecting there?
How many?
110,000 is what they expect to be able to be in that stadium today. Boy, that'd be a big game to be at, I'll tell you that. Even if you watch College Game Day today, even all the guys that were on the crew were all dressed in white. They all had white suits on as well.
And speaking of white suits, the St. Joe's offense retakes the field here, and this feels like a big possession for them early in this game. They don't want to have, another 3 and out here or have to come off the field without scoring any points and then give this Canisius offense another crack at it, as they've been red hot to start things out here. First down and 10. Here's the snap. Kyle to give. And looking for some room to roam on that right side of the offensive line. Owen Kosinski, nowhere to go.
And there was a hole there to start things off. Canisius does a great job to close that gap up to make sure that it was only going to be a 2-yard gain right there.
So short gain there on first down. And not only are the fans crammed into the stands here, you look around the fencing on the perimeter of the field, they're lined up all through there as well. There's just not many games that match an atmosphere like this one here in Western New York. Second down and long. Here's the snap. Kyle, short drop now. Rifles one over the middle. It's caught by Stone Rozak, and Rozak gets tripped up there by Jalen Hawkins, but he falls forward to about midfield. First down for the Marauders.
But a great pass play right there. Something St. Joe's needed right there to be able to start moving the ball. Great replay right here, but you can see he gets time to throw the ball, to be able to sit in the pocket. And again, another great throw right there was you saw the defense was right on him. So again, you can see Canisius right there with some of these defensive plays. You got to give Keel credit right here because he's really threading the needle in some of these.
I've been impressed with him throwing over the middle. Sometimes quarterbacks struggle throwing it over the middle, but he's not afraid. Once he gets to the top of his drop to just rip it. He's made some nice throws over the middle here today. Here's the first down snap. Kyle's going to pull it and keep it. And now trying to shake out some defenders here. And a nice little move there will get him up to the 45-yard line. So nice pickup on first down there for Brandon Kyle.
Kyle, good job of running the ball right there. You could see it's a little misdirection stuff, which hopefully is keeping the defense at bay. That's why you could try these different things, because we've seen the penetration from Canisius, them having so much success of getting into the backfield. I like the adjustments right now on this drive that we're seeing from St. Joe's.
Second down and short. Second and 3. To be exact, 3 receivers, 1 back, 1 tight end, and a whistle. They had it as third down over there at the sticks on the far side of the field. It is indeed second down. And 3 from the 45 of Canisius. Here's Kyle. He's going to throw. It is caught, and Darnell Gallimore breaks on the football there. Takes down Cameron Chin for a loss to bring up third down.
Great job. Gallimore's been great on defense so far today. Love what we already talked about him in the end zone. You saw him make up ground right there, makes a great play. He really has been doing fantastic. And we talked about him last year as a young man that was going to be coming back to this defense, and he's already showing now as a leader out there on the field.
Darnell Gallimore last year, 31 total tackles, 5 passes defense, 2 interceptions, including a pick 6. And now he gets the TFL there to set up third down. Here is Kyle, takes the snap, and he's going to pull it down and run, and he had nowhere to escape. Javez Caldwell in there once again.
Caldwell is a beast on defense. He has just been all over. It feels like every time a big play's been called on defense from the defensive line, that's the name that we keep calling out there. He is absolutely making his impact on this game.
Javez Caldwell picked up the 4th sack of his career earlier this game on the first drive to put that to a stop. And now he makes a play right there to bring up 4th down, and Joes will have to punt again. And this punt running up and calling for fair catch at the 20-yard line is Jalen Hawkins.
So we saw at least St. Joe's make some adjustments. They moved down the field at least a little bit. I know they wanted to put points up on the board, but you're seeing some things that are at least being effective right now for your offense. Now you flip it. You've got to make some adjustments right here on defense, because that middle has been opening up too easily right now by this offensive line at Canisius. St. Joe's has to have an answer right here. They cannot afford another long run to be able to start a drive. It's just been like they need to touch it 2 or 3 times, and all of a sudden we see them going for 70 yards or 80 yards down the field.
Kimball, just on his rushing touchdowns alone, has 156 yards rushing. Here's the snap on first down. The give goes to Kimball, and this time they swallow him up in the backfield. Stone Rozak had a big catch on the last drive for Joe's on offense, and now defensively he makes his presence known.
Okay, did you see that now right there? There was no hole. That's exactly what an adjustment that needed to be made. There was no hole for him to run through right there, and that's what St. Joe's has to keep doing if they're going to make sure they stop the run.
And now Kimball is struggling to get off the field. He is hobbling over to the Canisius sideline, almost doubled over.
Yeah, it looks like he's stretching, though. See, it looks like he's stretching it out. That usually means like a cramp is what that'll mean. See how he's stretching it out?
Yep.
That's telling me that there's some sort of cramping right there.
So a timeout taken with 7:32. We'll take one as well. Back after this on Western New York Athletics. Welcome back here. Second down and 11 for the Crusaders. Here's Brusco looking to throw for the first time today. He's got Noah Harrison, and Harrison inside the 40-yard line, one man to beat, and he is taken down there inside the 35-yard line. Big catch there for Noah Harrison.
When you're going to stack the box, get more guys in the box to try to stop the run, that's when you got to make sure you go to the pass right there, and this was great. Look at the time he gets. He got more than enough time, and then he got a one-on-one matchup where your man has already beaten him by a step. Great throw, great job by the line to give your quarterback the time he needed to make that throw.
Noah Harrison, he transferred here from Albion, and fun fact, his former Purple Eagle teammate, Jonah Elsenheimer, transferred as well to St. Joe's, so he's on the other sideline, and he just watched his former receiver make a big play against his squad there.
That's a nice little commute to go to school if you're still living out that way, right? That's a commute, and especially we know that Albion has struggled the last couple years in their football program. And I'll tell you, boy, they'd love to have these guys right there in that Albion football team because they could be in the mix of things with players like this.
Noah Harrison coming into this game, 9 receptions for 135 yards and a touchdown. Had 4 receptions for 100 yards against Ironton. Now on first down, here's a give to Amir Hernandez, trying to get some penalty yardage back there.
But this is what I've liked so far from at least St. Joe's as the game's going on. You see how they're making changes? We're seeing now the changes on the D. You're not seeing those holes open up the way they did. They're obviously making some in-game changes right here inside the first half to try to slow the run game down and at the same time to see if they can move the ball on offense.
Now second down and long, 4 wide here for the Crusaders. Brusco in the shotgun. He's flanked to his left by Hernandez. He's going to take the three-step drop. He fires. It is caught by Jack Cullinan, and now Cullinan spinning forward. And it looks like he's got enough for a Crusader first down.
And a great job. He was being given a cushion right there. Took advantage of that cushion. And again, your offensive line giving time right now so that he can make the throws that he needs to make.
Jack Cullinan, the brother of Patrick Cullinan, who's now graduated, former member of the Crusaders basketball team. That gives them a fresh set of downs here. 5.5 left in this first half. Here goes the give, and not much going on there as it's Terrence Schuford Jr., but he is bottled up like Stone Rozak in there once again. And now Eli Kimball comes back out onto the field.
He wasn't even waiting for a coach to tell him to go in. He went right into that backfield right there.
So he will spell Terrence Shuford there after that last carry. Good to see that Kimball, no worse for wear, back in there.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it really looked like it was some sort of cramping right out there because you could see by the way he was stretching it out, trying to move it, and then went right to the trainer, and the trainer was able to get him back into the game quickly.
And now if you're a defense, this has to be in your nightmares right here. Both Kimball and Hernandez in the game. They're going to go to the air. Here's Cullinan. That one is incomplete. He was blanketed there by Cameron Chin. So that brings up third down. Mateo Brusco, a little shaken up in their game last week against Walsh Jesuit. Suffered an ankle injury, but he's out there no less. Had a nice throw earlier in this drive, a long first down completion to Noah Harrison. Now it's third down and long for the Crusaders. Brusco, Kimball flips it back to Jalen Hawkins. Now Brusco at their lead, blocking for him. Jalen Hawkins spinning forward, and we'll see where they spot it. Looks like from here he's got enough for the first. No, it looks like he's going to be just short, under a yard short, so it's going to be fourth down and inches here. Again, some trickery there from Canisius. It nearly nets him a first down, but the offense not coming off the field here for the moment. Now a timeout is called. We'll take a timeout as well. Back after this here, 4:01 left in the second quarter on Western New York Athletics.
Build your next connection. Earn your next internship. Crush your next goal. What will you do next?
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
It's a party here at Kessler Field as they play Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus over the loudspeakers here. 4:01 left in the second quarter. Canisius leading 18-7, and they're looking to add to it here. It is fourth down and inches. Offense stays on the field. Here is Kimball, the Wildcat quarterback. He is going to keep it himself, and Kimball has the first down and more. He's taken down inside the 10-yard line, makes it goal to go.
Just shows how hard it is to stop him even when you know he's going to run the ball. That just shows you how good of a running back he is, and at the same time, how good their offensive line is playing today.
No doubt about it, as they're going to stick with it here. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This time Kimball gives to Hernandez, finds a crease and gets down inside the 5.
And that's what Coach Krasansky was talking to us about on Wednesday, where he wanted to see both of these guys out on the field so that you didn't know who was going to run the ball or what direction they could go because you had two running backs in that backfield.
Second and goal from the 2. And once again, sticking with the Wildcat here. This time it's a direct snap, Amir Hernandez, and he walks in for the touchdown. Second of the day for Amir Hernandez. So Amir Hernandez had one from 65 yards earlier, this time from 2 yards out. Calls his own number on the direct snap, and Canisius starting to pull away here in this one.
This is the first time they're actually going to kick an extra point with close yardage compared to what they've done for the last 3.
It is Lucas Schmitz-Matos, and that time it is good. 24-7 in favor of Canisius with 3 minutes remaining here in the second quarter.
You saw the direct snap go there, and then Kimball with the lead block right there to open up that hole and get Hernandez right in as he cuts in underneath the block after he makes contact right there. But what a great job by both Kimball and Hernandez to finish off that drive.
Amir Hernandez now that is rushing touchdown number 4 on the season for him. And Canisius continuing to increase that lead. Meanwhile, for Amir Hernandez, that's his second multi-rushing touchdown game of the season after a 2-game drought of not finding the end zone. He's got 2 of them here. He had 2 in their Week 1 victory against Scranton Prep. Now here is Lucas Bonilla to kick off. It's going to be fielded inside the 5-yard line. Now on the run back, here comes Joes. Not much room to roam there. Caden Wayne was one of the players in on the stop.
So now I agree with what we said earlier. This is a very important drive right here for Joes. You cannot go 3 and out. You cannot give Canisius the ball back inside this second half for an opportunity to put more points on that scoreboard, because you're not going to be able to keep coming back, and again, especially the way this offense has been moving the ball. To me, this is an absolute big drive here for St. Joe's.
.256 here left for the Marauders. Here is Kyle, takes the shotgun snap, short drop. Now he's going to be flushed out, and he's just going to throw this one away. Dirts it there on first down.
And what that does is stop that clock right now. So he's still got 250. You've got to make sure that we get this first down if you are a St. Joe's fan out there, because you can't afford right here to be able to give it back to them. And if you don't, you're going to give them good field position because of where you are right now on the field.
.250 the clock stops at. Second down and 10. Stone Rozak goes in motion. Here's the snap to Kyle. Play fake, and now he's coming near side. Gets a block from Rozak, and he is going to be taken down at the 34-yard line. And that makes it first down for Joes.
That's a big first down. Really is a big first down right there for St. Joe's.
And the clock continues to roll. Here's the snap as they send some heat. Caldwell chasing after Kyle. He's directing traffic downfield. Heaves it out of bounds on first down. Canisius defense, they've done a good job so far on this drive of getting some of that interior pressure and forcing Kyle off his spot.
And they're doing this with only 3 defensive linemen. They're getting that type of a rush with 3 defensive linemen.
And now you got some movement up front. It's going to be against the aforementioned Canisius defensive line there.
So I do have a score for us from one of the premier games today. Iroquois is leading Lackawanna 14-8 with 2:48 left in the second quarter.
Interesting there. Second down. Here is Kyle. He's going to throw this one over the middle, and that is dropped. Gave him a nice touch ball there over the middle.
He had to go back, though. You see, I had to reach back for it right there. That was the reason. It was a tough play because of where his momentum was going. Almost turned into a big one. If he was led and catch that, that becomes a huge play right there for St. Joe's.
Looking for Braden Downey there on that little back shoulder seam ball. Falls incomplete. Third down upcoming for the Marauders. Four receivers, and again, they got movement up front. And it's going to be encroachment against Canisius, so that moves the chains. We've seen penalties play a factor into this game at various points. And it'll keep the drive alive here for Joe's as they try to execute the 2-minute drill. Here is Kyle. He is pressured. He has to roll to his right now. He's going to tuck it. He's got the first down and then some. Kyle taken down at the Canisius 40-yard line.
A great job to understand that you're going to keep the ball and take off. Blitz right there up the A-gap by Canisius. And it was Kyle right there. Does a good job of reading that and taking off and using his legs and moving those sticks one more time.
They spot the ball at the 39. So again, nicely done there by Kyle. Making a play with his legs.
Got another big score. Orchard Park leading Jamestown 14-13 at half in that one.
Here's a snap on first down. Kyle steps up in the pocket, rips one over the middle. That is incomplete. A little too tall there for Jay Ostrander, who caught an 18-yard receiving touchdown in the first quarter that briefly gave Joe's a lead.
Well, I'll tell you, some big games out there that we talked about all at right around the halftime mark. Iroquois in a one-score game with Lackawanna. Orchard Park leading by a point over Jamestown. And then remember the CSP Chautauqua Lake score, which was a 7-6 game at halftime in there.
And now looks like a timeout is called by Joe's. We'll keep it here with 1:16 left to go in the second quarter. And with that score, 25-7 here in favor of Canisius. It's been true to form for how some of these matchups have gone in recent memory between these two teams. Canisius has always been the one, at least in recent memory, to get off to quick starts. In the last four meetings between these two teams, Canisius has outscored Joe's 42-0 in the first quarter, 98-16 in the first half. They outscored them 12-7 in the first quarter, but have started to balloon this lead out here in the second.
Well, I'll tell you, it seems like the crowd keeps getting thicker and thicker still as this game's going on at halftime. It probably is. It's going to be about 2 miles of a walk out there on the road to get into this place. Is probably why we're still seeing people come in.
It's a good thing we have stuff to do after the game. Got to break down the equipment, get interviews and all that. Gives traffic some time to clear out for us. But for everyone that's antsy to get out of here, might not be so fortunate. Rejoin the action here. 1:16 left in the second quarter. Here is Kyle. He rips one to the near side. It is incomplete. Dallin Floyd, guardian cap and all, makes the stop there, jars that ball loose to bring up third down.
And really read that well. Came up, hit him right as that ball hits his hands. Perfect timing right there on that defensive stop.
Again, Dallin Floyd rocking the guardian cap out there. Appears to be the only Crusader sporting it. Now it's third down and 10. Here is Kyle. And they're coming after him. They set up a screen for Kaczynski. He's got the first down and then some. Here goes Owen Kaczynski taken down at the 20-yard line. Great play call there from head coach Mike Corona. And that makes it a first down for Joe's.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Great call. We talked about the screen being a friend to you, especially when you see a team blitzing and getting into that backfield the way they have on this drive. I love that call. Take advantage of the aggressive defense on Canisius.
Especially when it's 3rd and 10, and you know those pass rushers are just pinning their ears back, and they're thinking about teeing off on the quarterback. Here is Kyle, takes the snap, short drop, firing over the middle. It's deflected, and it still might have been caught.
It fell to the ground. Almost was caught.
Incomplete off the ricochet. I believe that was Jay Ostrander who had a chance at it, but it falls incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Well, I'll tell you, what a gorgeous day it is out here for high school football.
About 77 degrees outside here. As good a late September day as you could ask for here in Western New York. 2nd down and 10. Rozak in motion to the left side of the offensive formation. Here is Kyle. He's going to throw to Rozak, who leaked out underneath, and he's got the first down inside the 10. And again, a timeout is called by Joes, who, as I mentioned, are led by headman Mike Corona, who is a Rochester native, graduate of Greece Athena High School, played football and was a wrestler at UB before graduating in 04, then had a few assistant coaching stints, season at D2 Pace University, 2-year stint at Findlay University, 3-year stint at Bishop O'Connell High School in Arlington, Virginia. Had a stint as a strength and conditioning coach at West Los Angeles College in California. First head coaching gig was a 5-year stint as head coach of St. Joseph by the Sea High School. And he returned to be the head coach of Joe's in February 2020, just the 6th coach since 1960 to hold the title of head coach for St. Joe's.
I actually remember being at his press conference to announce things because it was during COVID. And we all had to go there, and he had to have the distance, and he had to be in certain mics. That was all happening during COVID when he took on the job.
2nd down here. Kyle throwing, looking for Rozak. It is incomplete. Kind of heave that one off the back foot there, a little bit off the mark.
Kyle needed another second right there just to get some separation for Rozak right there to be able to make that catch.
It wasn't always easy for head coach Corona. There were some growing pains after he took over. They went 2-10 both of his first 2 seasons. Some fans gave him a hard time, but obviously now they're seeing the fruits of his progress as they made the Monsignor Martin championship game, but they are still seeking that elusive championship as that one is intercepted. He was looking for Stone Rozak. Here goes Jalen Hawkins, and Hawkins cannot outrun Jay Ostrander there, doing his best DK Metcalf impression, but nonetheless, it is picked off by Jalen Hawkins, and a very promising drive for Joe's comes to an end.
Really was. Great drive right there. They moved the ball, made some adjustments, but you got to give Canisius credit. You could take a look right here. You can see the replay, and he had no choice. He had to get that ball off. Again, remember we talked about he needed another second on the last play? Same exact thing here as Canisius brings that blitz right up the middle, and you saw just didn't have enough time to throw it right there, and he throws it a little earlier than he wanted to.
Jalen Hawkins, the transfer in from Sweet Home, makes the play. And now it looks like Mateo Brusco is going to take a knee with about 13 seconds left, and that sends us into halftime. After one in the 103rd meeting all time between these two teams, it is the Crusaders on the high side, 25-7. We'll step aside here, and when we come back, we'll recap that first half and get you all set for the second here, the marquee rivalry here in Western New York. Canisius, St. Joe's. Crusaders lead 25-7 here on Western New York Athletics.
At Richmond Vona, we are seriously dedicated to bettering the communities that we serve.
You will get super high level communication, and you are getting a team of dedicated attorneys, paralegals. If you put your trust in us and hire us, we promise to take care of everything. Call us as soon as possible so we can start the investigation to fight to get you the settlement you deserve.
Wingnuts. You still got to go.
Have you guys tried Room 40 yet?
Looking for the perfect spot to throw your next party? Say hello to Room 40, our private event space at both Wingnuts locations. Maybe you got a birthday, a graduation, anniversary, business event, rehearsal dinner, or even a sports banquet. From intimate get-togethers to rowdy celebrations, Room 40 is built to handle it all and fits up to 60 guests. With custom food and drink packages, flexible setups, legendary Wingnuts hospitality, and all the wings you can handle. If you're planning a celebration or get-together in Buffalo, this is where the party's at. Local vibes, zero stress, all fun. Book Room 40 today and throw a party Buffalo won't forget. Hit the link in our bio or visit wingnutsbuffalo.com/room40 to book now.
All right, well,
I'll go if you go to Wingnuts.
Deal.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
I'm George Wiley, a senior at Canisius High School. As the only Jesuit high school in Western New York, Canisius delivers a life-changing education. Canisius prepares young men for acceptance into the nation's finest universities, and our community supports us at each step of our journey. We are proud of our excellent athletics and our emphasis on service. This place is special. Let us show you why.
Experience firsthand the excellence of Canisius High School. Schedule your visit at canisiushigh.org.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Look, Patriot account is not going to close itself. Looks like you're going to be here late again. I need this by morning.
Oh no, not again. My son has a football game tonight.
WNYAthletics.com. You can link me later.
WNYAthletics, your home for high school sports.
Yes.
Are you an AD struggling to keep up with the social media needs of your teams? Check out Box Out Sports, a platform used by colleges and high schools all across the country. It's a true plug-and-play system where in less than 30 seconds you have access to over 1,000 templates that include your colors, your logos, and your information to highlight your student athletes. If you're interested in learning more, go to boxoutsports.com today.
Welcome back here to Kessler Field for the 103rd meeting all time here between the Canisius Crusaders and the St. Joseph's Marauders. Right now, Canisius leads 25-7 here at halftime, and let's take a look at how they got here with the highlights from that first half. Joe's was unable to do anything with their first drive of the game. And then second play for scrimmage from Canisius. Elijah Kimball takes it 83 yards to the house. The point after attempt would be no good, and that would put Canisius up 6-0. And then a couple drives later, Joe's, after some penalties, able to get down into the red zone, and Brandon Kyle threading a needle there to Jay Ostrander from 18 yards out. There was one look at it. Here's another. Just Kyle dropping it in the bucket over the outstretched arm of Arno Mbayo. Darnell Gallimore unable to make a play on it. Jay Ostrander from 18 yards out, and the PAT was good. That made it 7-6 Joe's, but then 2:30 left in the first quarter. There goes Amir Hernandez. He saw Elijah Kimball get into the end zone and had to get in on the fun himself. Takes it in from 65 yards out. The PAT would be no good, and it would make it 12-0 Canisius. And then Elijah Kimball, 11:49 in the second quarter. Not only did he get into the end zone, but it was this play that immortalized him in Canisius history. Passing Quadri Olison is the all-time leading rusher in school history. And then to end the half, it looked like Joe's was going to be able to get some points on the board, execute the 2-minute drill, but Jalen Hawkins said, not on my watch. Gets the interception with 16.3 seconds left to put an end to that scoring chance, and that made it 25-7 where we currently stand. So now let's bring in my color man, Tom Prince. And Tom, your thoughts on that first half, and if you're Joe's, how do you deal with this offensive line and deal with this rushing attack?
It's hard because you saw when they finally started getting more guys in the box, what did Canisius do? They went to the air. They went to the air and had open men in the air right there, and then you make an adjustment, and then what happens? You get a dose of Hernandez and Kimball then thrown at you. It is very, very difficult right now, but there has to be penetration by that defensive line for St. Joe's. They've got to get penetration in the backfield or hold your ground. You've got to hold your ground so those holes aren't opening up right there that you can see Kimball Hernandez just completely run through, and in sometimes untouched running through these holes.
And then offensively for Joe's, you have to have liked a lot of what you've seen. They've had some real success moving the ball through the air, got down into the red zone here. It's just a matter of being able to sustain drives, and then in an instance like we saw at the end of the half, you have to find a way to get 6 out of that.
Well, again, what Canisius did well right there was the blitz, because it didn't give Kyle enough time to make any throws right there. So you've got to make sure that you've got to have something to be able to take on that blitz. So what you may want to be thinking about, one adjustment may be, is you've got to have a running back, a fullback, somebody in the backfield right there to help to stop those blitzes, or at least give you another second or two so you could throw the ball. Think about that drive. We said twice, even on the interception in the play before it, we said if he had another second, he probably would have been able to hit his guys. Put somebody in the backfield, stop that penetration by Canisius, and I think that's going to be an adjustment you're going to need to see Joe's as well.
We will see what adjustments they make and how the second half plays out. We'll step aside here, but not before we take a moment to thank our featured sponsors who make this broadcast possible. Starting with Damon University. Damon University is a private non-sectarian university in Amherst, New York, offering undergraduate and graduate level degrees. Visit damon.edu to schedule a tour today. Richmond Vona. Richmond Vona LLC is committed to you. Being involved in a serious accident creates a whirlwind of changes. We know how serious the effects of a car accident can be on the victims and their families. At Richmond Vona LLC, we have helped our clients recover over $175 million. We have the skills and experience needed to handle a full range of car accident claims, including those with multiple parties and catastrophic injuries. Call 716-671-4341 for your free consultation today, or visit richmondvona.com. Logistics Plus of Buffalo for all your transportation needs. Full truckload, LTL, dedicated and drop trailer moves. Logistics Plus of Buffalo is a one-stop shop. Email buffalo@logisticsplus.com for your next shipment or warehousing needs.
And then we would also like to thank G&G Fitness. G&G Fitness Equipment is a full-service provider of specialty home and commercial fitness. Locations in Buffalo, Rochester, and Syracuse. Visit livefit.com. Buffalo, located near the Buffalo Airport at 5600 Genesee Street. Dine in or order for takeout, open 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Visit wingnutsbuffalo.com. That's Wingnuts with a C. Portland stands out as one of New York's public universities, a medium-sized school that offers academic strength across 68 majors, a high quality Visit www.portland.edu to schedule a visit. We'd also like to thank Pathfinder College Planning, taking shotgun the mental match with Sam Recco, Canisius High School, St. Joe's Collegiate Institute, St. Francis High School, the Trench Trophy, recognizing the top linemen in Western New York, Lewis and Lewis PC, 37 Franklin Street, Buffalo, New York, Golden Cleaners on Elmwood Avenue, Kenmore, New York, BNT Supply, Western Divisions. I'd like to thank all of them because they're the ones that help make this broadcast possible.
Indeed. We'll step aside here, and when we come back, we'll have the second half of the 103rd meeting all-time here between the Crusaders and the Marauders here on Western New York Athletics.
At Richmond Vona, we are seriously dedicated to bettering the communities that we serve. You will get super high level communication, and you are getting a team of dedicated attorneys, paralegals. If you put your trust in us and hire us, we promise to take care of everything. Call us as soon as possible so we can start the investigation to fight to get you the settlement you deserve.
Wingnuts. You still got to go.
Have you guys tried Room 40 yet?
Looking for the perfect spot to throw your next party? Say hello to Room 40, our private event space at both Wingnuts locations. Maybe you got a birthday, a graduation, anniversary, business event, rehearsal dinner, or even a sports banquet. From intimate get-togethers to rowdy celebrations, Room 40 is built to handle it all and fits up to 60 guests. With custom food and drink packages, flexible setups, legendary Wingnuts hospitality, and all the wings you can handle. If you're planning a celebration or get-together in Buffalo, this is where the party's at. Local vibes, zero stress, all fun. Book Room 40 today and throw a party Buffalo won't forget. Hit the link in our bio or visit wingnutsbuffalo.com/room40 to book now.
All right, well,
I'll go if you go to Wingnuts.
Deal.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
I'm George Wiley, a senior at Canisius High School. As the only Jesuit high school in Western New York, Canisius delivers a life-changing education. Canisius prepares young men for acceptance into the nation's finest universities, and our community supports us at each step of our journey. We are proud of our excellent athletics and our emphasis on service. This place is special. Let us show you why.
Experience firsthand the excellence of Canisius High School. Schedule your visit at canisiushigh.org.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
or an efficient personal approach for all of your transportation needs. More information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Look, Patriot account is not going to close itself. Looks like you're going to be here late again. I need this by morning.
Oh no, not again. My son has a football game tonight.
WNYAthletics.com. You can thank me later.
WNYAthletics, your home for high school sports.
Yes.
Are you an AD struggling to keep up with the social media needs of your teams? Check out Box Out Sports, a platform used by colleges and high schools all across the country. It's a true plug-and-play system where in less than 30 seconds you have access to over 1,000 templates that include your colors, your logos, and your information to highlight your student athletes. If you're interested in learning more, go to boxoutsports.com today.
Welcome back here to Kessler Field. Second half about to get underway here between the Canisius Crusaders and the St. Joe's Marauders. Right now, Canisius leads 25-7, but that is by no means an insurmountable lead. There's a couple things here, Tom. Number one, this game is fairly similar to the last time these two teams played in the Monsignor Martin Championship game, when Canisius won 32-22. In that game, they got out to a 14-0 lead, and they led 26-6 at half, and St. Joe's made a run in that game. They outscored Canisius 16-6 in the fourth quarter, and then the other thing that Joe's has going for them is that they've scored 80 points on the season. 60 of those 80 have been scored in the second half, so while not in an ideal situation here, being down 25-7, it's by no means a hole that they can't crawl out of.
Great stats right there, too, Tanner. And again, what does that show about St. Joe's is they make great adjustments inside of a game. That's exactly what that tells you right there. And we have seen good adjustments so far, even in the first half by that team. But they're going to have to make more right there, especially because of what we've seen from this rushing attack of Canisius.
Great crowd on hand here as we are set to get this second half underway. Buffalo Bills head coach Sean McDermott on hand as well. The Stars are out here for this marquee matchup here in Western New York, matchup number 103 all time. And I don't know how I missed this or failed to mention this yet, but Canisius has been on the right side of this rivalry in the not-so-distant past. They have won 21 of the last 22 matchups, as this one boomed deep into the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. But Canisius, as I mentioned, 21 of the last 22. They have won 11 straight meetings, including the Monsignor Martin Championship last year. That 11-game win streak is the longest Canisius win streak in series history. Their previous longest saw them win 10 straight from 2012 to 2018. Joe's holds the record for the longest win streak in series history overall. They won 17 straight from 1983 to 1998. And between 1983 and 2006, Joe's won 25 of the 27 games played during that span. So now the Crusaders 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Brusco in the shotgun. Kimball is the back. Here's the snap. Brusco, the give to Kimball. And he is taken down. Looks like maybe lost a half yard there on the play. So Kimball, he had the two explosives in this game, but outside of that, been pretty quiet.
He's only run the ball 5 times, right? That's because what they've been able to do, because of the explosive runs that we've seen, Hernandez has been able to run the ball. They've had different guys that have been able to get and run the ball and be just as effective.
2nd down and 10. They say no gain on the play. Here's the snap. Brusco, play fake. Now he throws. He's got a wide open tight end over the middle, and the big man is rumbling. Gets to midfield. The flag is down, and he is down as well inside St. Joe's territory there. Connor Gain makes the play. The junior tight end coming into this game, only 1 reception for 14 yards on the season. Let's check the penalty here.
Penalty or not, let's look at it from this perspective, Tanner. Have you noticed whenever St. Joe's has made a stop on the run, the next play has been an effective pass play to somebody out there on the field for Canisius? They've been able to adjust the pass right away on any stop of the run game so far. It's almost like St. Joe's is going to say right here, okay, we're going to stop you from doing the run. You're going to have to beat us by the pass right now. See if that's going to be the mentality moving forward for the second half.
It is 1st and 10 still. Much of the run after catch there negated by penalty. Here is Brusco in the shotgun. The give goes to Elijah Kimball, and he is taken down at the 35-yard line. Short gain on 1st down.
That was a nice tackle there by 76. Wyatt Giarla, 6'4", 285, listed right there as one of your defensive linemen. Boy, just look at some of these linemen, though, when you talk about the size for St. Joe's. We talk about Bowman at 370, Mac Dispenza, 6'4", 305, Malcolm Ransom, 6'4", 290, Ben Foglia Albrecht, 6'3", 285.
Give to Hernandez here, and Hernandez maybe got back to the line of scrimmage there, so that's going to bring up 3rd down.
Again, you see 4 guys were on that tackle right there. Giarlo was one of them again, but you can see they're attacking the run right there. This is one of the first times we've seen 3-4 guys out there making a stop on the run.
Be interesting to see what the play call here is on 3rd down. Do you keep it on the ground because you're nearing that territory in between the 40s, Tom? You and I always talk about it. That's an area where you think about going for it much of the time. And it looks like they are coming out in the Wildcat here. Kimball, the direct snap to him. He keeps it himself, and here he goes. Elijah Kimball is going to take this one to the house. Once again, roll out the red carpet, number 3 for Elijah Kimball.
And that was the shortest of the touchdowns, only 65 yards is what it was.
It's a hat trick for Eli Kimball, 65-yard touchdown, and Canisius increases the lead here on their first drive of the second half.
And I'll tell you, you can see right now that student section jumping. I don't know if you felt it there, Tanner, but this whole press box was shaking a minute ago as the student section was into this one and celebrating that last touchdown.
So now here is Schmitz-Matos on for the PAT. The kick is good. 32-7, 9:09 left here in the third quarter. Canisius stretches out the lead, and what a bounce-back game for Elijah Kimball as we take a look at the replay. Caught the tail end of it there.
But did you see when Hernandez broke out wide, there was a gap that happened out there, and he found the hole right away. But taking Hernandez and moving him out to a receiver spot took somebody off the line right there and made that play even more possible.
And what a bounce-back game for Kimball. Now, here we go.
Watch this. Watch him go out. When he goes wide, watch what happens. Oh, we lost it right there. But when he goes wide, see that? And he had a one-on-one matchup. You took him out, and that opened up that hole beautifully right there for Kimball to come running right down. And then you see Mario Hall's camera down there picking him up, running right at him.
That is career touchdown number 61 for Kimball as the kickoff goes out of bounds. And this is a big bounce-back game for Kimball. Last week he was held to 14 carries for 30 yards, 2.1 yards per carry. 30 yards is the second fewest rushing yards he's finished a game with in his high school career. He finished with only 15 rushing yards last year in a 40-7 loss against Washington High School out of Massillon, Ohio. So safe to say he's had quite the bounce back here today.
But that's why you play those tough teams. You play them to get ready for what you want. You want to win the Monsignor Martin Conference and go on to a Catholic championship. That's exactly what your goal is. And to do that, you go out and play the best. We talk about it when we go to Section 6. Ty Parker with Health Sciences wants to play the best all the time. There are coaches that will always say, I want to play up and I want to play better so that my team gets ready for games that truly mean something.
1st and 10, Downey goes in motion, and we got a new hurler in the game here. Going deep on the first play, looking for Gunther. It's incomplete. A flag is down. Coach K incensed there down on the sideline.
Yeah, he didn't like that. I saw him wave going, no way. Yeah, he didn't like that call, especially when it happens right in front of him like that is where he didn't like that call.
So Kyle not in on this possession here. The quarterback is the junior transferred in from Frontier, Braden Mans. He does have 3 passing touchdowns on the season. Him and Kyle have split the difference here a little bit at quarterback this season. So he has played and he has been productive this year, and he'll get his chance to try and dig them out of this 25-point hole here. 1st down and 10, and again, we've seen some jumpiness from that front there for Canisius, and it looks like they got him again.
I like that word, jumpiness. But you can see, and when you know that you're blitzing and you're trying to come, you really are. You want to get back there and make that jump, especially when you know some of the linemen are as big as they are.
1st down and 5. Braden Mans throws to the far side of the field, and it is caught, and now there's a flag down. Looks like they're going to get Xavier Franklin there for the hit on Jay Ostrander, who somehow held onto that ball.
I got to be honest, it looked like a hand is all that was. I'm kind of shocked by this. I know it was right in front of the ref right there, but boy, it looked like he just came with his hand and knocked him down as a tackle.
Gates Franklin couldn't believe the call.
I got to be honest with you, I'm a little shocked myself right now. He looked like it was just a hand that came out and hit him down for the tackle right there.
So this is eerily similar to Joe's only touchdown drive of the game, where they got some significant help from penalties on that drive. They're getting help from penalties once again here.
I'll tell you, hope not. There was about 10 penalties on that drive both ways, if you remember, going up and down there.
Yep. 1st down and 10. Here's the snap. Mans drops back, and he's going to hurl this one deep down the far sideline, and he drops it right in the bucket. Touchdown, Cameron Chin from 28 yards out.
What a great timing play. You could see that was a little bit of a timing play, and he uses his speed to create separation out there to be able to get that so it falls right into his hands in the back of the end zone. Great pass, great catch, great route.
So Braden Mans comes in the game and right on cue drops one in the bucket for Cameron Chin. Makes it 32-13, and it looks like the offense is going to stay on the field here and go for 2. And here goes Downey in motion over to the right side of the formation. And now here is Mans. He takes the snap. He rolls to his right, drifting back. Now he's got to put it up, and he finds his man. It is caught. 2-point conversion good. Aiden Gunther on the reception.
But a great job by Mans to roll out and make sure that there was nobody that was going to come his way. He had more than enough time to make that throw and then showed his arm strength by fitting that right in there to be able to get the extra point.
Take a look at the replays here. First, the touchdown, just top of his drop, flings it deep and finds Cameron Chin.
And that's a timing play. Did you see that? It was literally a 2-step drop, sits on his back leg and tosses that up. That's going to be all timing right there to be able to get that touchdown.
And for Cameron Chin, this is someone who transferred in from Lockport, the sophomore, and he has really established himself as a playmaker for this Joe's team. He had a kick return touchdown in Week 1, had a 37-yard receiving touchdown in their Week 2 win over Jamestown. as well as a 98-yarder to open the scoring in that game. So Cameron Chin, young player, someone to keep an eye out for, is, like I said, he has really established himself as a force here for this Joe's team, been a great offensive weapon to open this season.
I got a score update for everybody. It comes from Orchard Park as Jamestown is now winning 19-14. There's 3 minutes left in the game.
So the lead now down to 17 here as Joe's set to boot it away. It's going to be fielded in the end zone by Shuford, and it'll be a touchback. Crusaders have it 1st and 10. Last drive, Elijah Kimball took it to the house from 65 yards out.
And now you see, we're going to see Hernandez and Kimball go back into right now that backfield. You wonder if we're going to see kind of that wildcat spot right now to take things off. That's going to be something to look at to see if that's what they're going to go and see if they get the ball to Hernandez by having Kimball in that backfield as the wildcat.
Mateo Brusco trotted out onto the field here, so they'll come out with a traditional quarterback here, at least for this first play of the drive.
Look, they're both going to be in the backfield, all in a line right there, right next to each other.
1st down and 10. Here's the snap. Brusco, the give to Kimball, and Kimball keeps those legs churning, and he'll be taken down just shy of the 30-yard line. That makes it 2nd down and short. Kimball, just on his rushing touchdowns today, has 221 rushing yards.
What does he have, though? 10 the other way? Right? It's almost been, that's all he's done is pretty much every time he's touched the ball. And obviously I'm being silly there, but he really has been so electric just running the ball every time he's touched it. But on that last play, give credit right there to Hernandez. Hernandez was a lead blocker to help Kimball get those extra yards, and that's the reason why there was an 8-yard gain on that last one.
Makes it 2nd down and short. Now they both motion out of the backfield here. This is a new look. Brusco, the lone man here in the shotgun, takes the snap. Now he's going to roll to his right, and Brusco fires on the move. It's incomplete. He was targeting Kimball, and now flags come in late.
Yeah, I thought he got hit early on that one, and that's exactly what that was. This is going to be a passing interference call right there.
Eli Robinson was in coverage and appears to be the guilty party here. And it is indeed pass interference. It'll be a 15-yard penalty. Of course, 15 yards in high school, not like in the NFL where it's a spot foul.
And it's also not an automatic 1st down.
Right.
You need the yards to get the 1st down. You got given the 1st down as well.
So after the foul here, it'll be a fresh set of downs. 1st down for the Crusaders, and they're going to come out wildcat here. Hernandez, and Kimball motions out. Hernandez keeps it himself, and running behind the right side of that offensive formation. He'll pick up a few there on 1st down. And Tom, you mentioned it. That's what they did on the play that sprung Kimball for his last touchdown. They motioned Hernandez out of the backfield. That time they motioned Kimball over to the far side of the field to try and create some space there in that defense.
You have to be accountable for either one of them. You got to know where they are on the field. And that's where a defense, if you just make the slight adjustment to go out with somebody, to go farther out to be able to guard them, that's when holes will start to open up.
2nd down and 6 from their own 47. Brusco hands it off to the up back. Is that Javez Caldwell? Looks like it is.
It is.
And the big man rumbles for a 1st down. He got a sack on the first drive of the game, and they reward him for his efforts there with a tote, and he rewards them with a 1st down.
That's a big boy to try to bring down, and I'll tell you, he runs with authority out there and gets that 1st down for Canisius. What a great job right there, and a great change of pace back that really could help them as the season goes on.
That is not the first carry of his career. Coming into this game, had 3 career carries for 16 yards and a touchdown.
Oh, I could see using him down in the goal line right down there to make stuff happen when you need it.
Now they're going with the Wildcat. Caldwell is still in there. Here comes Amir Hernandez, and Hernandez is taken down right around the 40. Gain of 5 on 1st down. We're going to spot him down at the 41-yard line. And they're going to stay with the big personnel in there. Looks like they're content with playing some smash-mouth football here as we get down under 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Obviously, if you're the Crusaders, you want to protect this 7-point lead and start trying to drip as much time off this clock here as possible as possessions become a premium here late in this game. Here's the direct snap to Kimball. Kimball bounces it to the far sideline, and he is going to be wrestled down just before the 30-yard line. That'll be good for a Canisius first down.
I tell you, we haven't seen many runs to go to the right side like that. Really, everything's been to the left side for the most part, or up the A-gap is where they did. So you could see a little bit of movement on there as you see him go to the right side and dance along that sideline and get another first down.
Now Mateo Brusco back in the game with 3 receivers in the pattern. Looks like Kimball the back. Play fake. There's Connor Gain once again working the middle, and he's taken down at the 15. It's a first down through the air.
And that's what the run game does for you. Did you see the fake handoff right there? Get set. The play action pass. Get set, and a great throw right up the middle. All set up because they think the run's going to happen to either Hernandez or Kimball on that one. That's a great job, and that's exactly what a great running game can do. It can open up things on the passing game for you.
Makes that play action that much more powerful. First down and 10. Here is Mateo Brusco in the shotgun. Hernandez motions near side. He gets it on the jet sweep. Has Kimball as a lead blocker. Tried to cut back. He lost the ball. It is going to be scooped up. Now coming back the other way here. One man to beat. It's Mateo Brusco in the open field. The chase down here coming from Cullinan. He can't get him down. Kimball takes him down, but he gets into the end zone for the touchdown. Davion Becker with a scoop and score.
Wow, what a play right there. You could see they knock it out, and he takes it the rest of the way to the house right there. But out of nowhere, Kimball came out of nowhere, and I thought he was going to catch him right there at the end. But you could see he finishes it off and gets it into the end zone. And, folks, we got ourselves a new ball game, like you said at halftime. The most of the points this season for St. Joe's has been in the second half, and we're seeing that exactly come out to play right here inside this game.
So Davion Becker breathes a whole new life into this ball game here. Hernandez coughs it up, and now the offense will come out onto the field here to go for 2. It's an 11-point game here.
We'll give you another scoring update after this extra point right here. It comes from the Jamestown Orchard Park game.
Braden Mans comes out under center. They shift the formation. Here's the snap. Pitch Kaczynski looking for a cutback lane. Kaczynski angling toward the pylon, and he is not going to get there. Dallin Floyd was there. Xavier Gates Franklin was there. So the 2-point conversion is no good, but it's an 11-point ball game. 32-21, 4:07 left in the third here. Big momentum shifting potentially play here from Davion Becker.
Yeah, look at this. Watch, you can see he goes down, gets cut. He goes up in the air. That was what you see him go up in the air, and as he's coming down, that's when it gets hit out. And then he does a great job of a little misdirection right there to take it back inside and goes the rest of the way for the touchdown. Great job. And see how he protects the ball at the very end? That is exactly what you need to do to make sure it doesn't get taken out.
Davion Becker, in addition to linebacker, he's listed as running back as well on the roster, so he showed a little bit of both skill sets there with the fumble recovery and then covering that ball as he was approaching the end zone as Kimball was trying to peanut punch that ball out of there.
So here we go. Orchard Park takes the lead with a 2-point 22-19. There's 11 minutes to go. I'm sorry, it was giving me the wrong time in the last update. Jared Bresky breaks 4 tackles for a 30-yard touchdown and gets the 2-point conversion. Orchard Park now takes the lead in that AA showcase game over in Orchard Park.
And this one is going to be boomed out of the back of the end zone for the touchback. St. Joe's defense able to get a stop on that last possession, forcing the Amir Hernandez fumble, and then it is recovered by Davion Becker. Takes it back about 80 yards there for a touchdown. Becker showing off that speed of his. He also runs track and field for the Marauders, and he needed every bit of that in his background there as he took that one in for 6, and now we've got a whole new ball game here.
So this, I'm not saying this is a must for Canisius, but this is a big drive for Canisius. You want to answer right here. You want to take that momentum back to your side of the field right now.
And Joe's has taken a timeout, so we will take one as well. 4:07 left in the third here. Back after this on Western New York Athletics.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
Seek your next adventure. Make your next memory. Explore your next connection. What will you do next?
Back after a timeout here. Joe's timeout, their first of the half. And now Canisius back on the field here. After the Joe's defensive touchdown, we'll see how they respond. Here is the give to Kimball, and they stuff him up at the line of scrimmage. Boy, outside of the 65-yard touchdown run, they've really done an admirable job here against Eli Kimball in the second half as the Marauder defense.
And we said that was an adjustment, and we also said that St. Joe's has been making those adjustments. You've got to give them credit for their in-game adjustments right here, right now.
No gain on the play. Going to be 2nd down and 10. Kimball's going to get his. There's no doubt about it.
He's already gotten his.
Yes. But outside of the explosives, they have done a good job of keeping him in check. 2nd down and 10. Here goes Hernandez in motion. They fake it to him. Now Brusco's going deep. Noah Harrison gets behind the defense. Here goes Harrison inside the 40, taken down by Cameron Chin at the 35. But 2 targets, 2 big chain-moving receptions in this game for Noah Harrison. And again, Tom, you mentioned it, that play action. And they got him again with it there. Big time catch there from Noah Harrison. Gets him a fresh set of downs. Now Hernandez has a seam, and he carries inside the 25-yard line. That should be good enough for a 1st down. Trying to atone for that fumble he had on the last drive. They go right back to him, and he picks up a 1st.
It's a big 1st down. This is a great drive right here from Canisius. I really believe they needed this just to get the momentum, slow things down that have been happening from the other side of the field.
Now 1st and 10 from the 24-yard line. Here's Mateo Brusco in the shotgun. The handoff goes to Kimball, and Kimball runs into a sandwich of Marauder defenders there. Going to be taken down right around the 20-yard line.
I tell you, this is also a good drive from Canisius' standpoint that the clock's moving. It's not stopping because of a quick play. They're really taking that clock down because what you want to start doing is limiting the amount of possessions for St. Joe's that they can't get back into this game totally. So if you could score here, you're limiting the amount of possessions by keep moving the ball and keep moving this clock.
And a timeout is called by Canisius. We'll keep it right here. It is there. First timeout taken of the half. Canisius leads 32-21 and they are on their way here potentially to 40 points here. Canisius has scored over 30 points 23 times in series history, including 14 times over 40, 4 times over 50, and twice over 60. And here's the thing, Tom, when Canisius scores over 30 points in this series, their record all time, 22-1.
Wow. And do we know when the win-loss was?
Yes, let me find that. The only time that Canisius has scored over 30 and lost was a 47-48 game. I'll get the exact date on that.
That was a shootout to boot.
Right. Now after the timeout, it is 2nd down and 7. Here's the give to Elijah Kimball. Bounces near side and is going to be taken down there along the sideline. Brings up 3rd down. The only game in series history where Canisius scored over 30 and lost was 2011, 48-47. Just to put a bow on that, now here's Hernandez in the Wildcat, takes the direct snap and rumbles up the middle. Hernandez, make it a hat trick for him. Touchdown, Crusaders.
And again, right up the middle, that A-gap opens up very nicely right there. Boy, I tell you, if Canisius holds on here for the victory, you got to say one of the guys that you could easily be talking to as part of these players of the game is somebody representing that offensive line, especially the way that they've opened up those holes so beautifully for them in the middle today.
No doubt about it. Here's the point after attempt for Schmitz-Matos. It is up, and it's good. So Canisius makes it 39-21 here with 41 seconds left in the third as we take a look at the replay on the Hernandez touchdown.
See the push all over to the left of the field? The offensive lineman's turned everybody off to the left side of the field. Hole opens up great right there that Hernandez is able to run through.
So Amir Hernandez gets his 3rd rushing touchdown of the day. That makes it 39-21 here in the late stages of the third. And I believe that is a new career high for Amir Hernandez for rushing touchdowns in a single game. And it is. Previous career high was 2. So for the first time in the high school career of Amir Hernandez, he's got the hat trick of touchdowns.
Boy, how many times can we say 2 running backs have had 3 touchdowns in a game that's close? You know what I mean? Like normally you hear that in something where it's 60-0, 60-10, that type of a game, that multiple running backs get that. This game was just over a 1-score game. It was just barely a 2-score game just a minute ago.
Here is the kickoff from Lucas Bonilla. That one's going to be fielded at the 15. Now coming up on the run back, Deion Cheatham Jr. taken down just shy of the 35-yard line. But Amir Hernandez has been a touchdown scoring machine. He scored at least 1 touchdown in each of the final 7 games of last season. And now this season, he's got 5 touchdowns in the first 4 games.
So we have Tim Wegren listening to the game, so he gave us some updates. 48-47, Canisius loss was in the Monsignor Martin semifinal game, and Chad Kelly's senior year was when that happened.
Wow. First down here is Braden Mans. He's being pressured off the edge, taken down by Schuford. The ball is out, and it is recovered by Canisius. Terrence Schuford got the strip sack, and it's recovered by Caden Wayne. Or excuse me, Quentin Littleton, they say it was.
Yeah, Yeah, that's a tough turnover right here as Canisius can really capitalize. Look at, here comes the blitz up the middle. You can see he's got to go to the outside. The minute he starts to try to set his body up to make that throw, another great right there. Wasn't necessarily a sack, but knocking the ball out right there so Canisius can get the ball back and try to put more points on right now inside the red zone or very close to the red zone already.
I thought my eyes deceived me. They did not. That was indeed Terrence Shuford there, forcing the fumble, recovered by Caden Wayne. Now first down and 10 for the Crusaders. Man in motion. It's a handoff to Xavier Gates Franklin, and nowhere to go for him. Taken down behind the line of scrimmage there on the jet sweep. Brings up second down as now they swap some personnel. Hernandez going in there. Dallin Floyd as well as Gates Franklin comes off. As that takes us to the end of the third quarter. Time to make the switch to the fourth. 39 here, 21 in favor of the Crusaders. Can they seal the deal here in the fourth quarter? We'll step aside, be right back for the start of the fourth quarter on Western New York Athletics.
I'm George Wiley, a senior at Canisius High School. As the only Jesuit high school in Western New York, Canisius delivers a life-changing education. Canisius prepares young men for acceptance into the nation's finest universities, and our community supports us at each step of our journey. We are proud of our excellent athletics and our emphasis on service. This place is special. Let us show you why.
Experience firsthand the excellence of Canisius High School. Schedule your visit at canisiushigh.org.
Welcome back here to Kessler Field. Start of the fourth quarter, Canisius leading 39-21, and they're driving here after a turnover by their defense. But, Tom, you just made a very good observation during this last break.
Yeah, the amount of people that are here, I've never seen a concession stand with a line in the fourth quarter right here.
Here goes Hernandez. How about number 4? He is in for the touchdown, 27 yards.
Unbelievable. And another, as you saw, oh, no, there's a flag.
There is a flag down, so we'll check on this. It looks like there's a man down in the end zone as well.
And I think the flag was against St. Joe's right there. Oh, and I think it's a cramping thing right there as well.
It looks like that's Caldwell, I believe.
I agree.
Caldwell had a sack on the first possession of this game. Had a rush earlier in the third quarter for a first down.
Boy, we thought we were going to get a closer game here in the second half. You love the way St. Joe's came out with the answer. We really thought they made the right adjustments. And then it just be a couple turnovers right there that really cost you. And then Canisius has taken full advantage of those opportunities to make sure that scoreboard stayed where it was when they started this half.
Terrence Shuford Jr. standing in the end zone, waving bye-bye to some of the St. Joe's fans as they start to make their way toward the exit. As they continue to work on Caldwell, he's being checked on by the aforementioned Shuford, Kimball, as he salutes the Joes fans that are taking off as well. We'll step aside here early in the fourth quarter. Canisius leads back after this on Western New York Athletics.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Welcome back here. 11:53 left in the fourth quarter. If you're just joining us, Canisius just scored a touchdown, fourth rushing touchdown of the day for Amir Hernandez. There is a combined 7 rushing touchdowns between him and Elijah Kimball. Javez Caldwell was shaken up on the touchdown. He is able to walk off the field under his own power. Now here's the point after attempt from Lucas Schmitz-Matos. And they're going to fake it. They're going to pitch it to Smich Matos, and he cannot get into the end zone. So a little trickery on the point after attempt, all for naught. Makes it 45-21. The score remains for Canisius as they score over 40 points for the 15th time in series history.
Here's that touchdown right here. Look at the gap open up. Did you see that? Right there. What a great job as the gap, and he was untouched right down into the end zone.
Fourth rushing touchdown for Amir Hernandez. That's a career high for him in a single game.
The 3 was a career high.
Right. He's just building on it.
So he just building on it, exactly.
Amir Hernandez last season had 850 yards, 8 touchdowns. He was named to the Monsignor Martin Division A All-Catholic team on both sides of the ball. He was named All-Western New York third-team offense and was named to the New York State Sports Writers Association All-State fourth-team offense. And, of course, that's splitting the carries with Eli Kimball, who has been nominated for he's been a Connolly Cup finalist each of the first 2 years of his career. He figures to be in that conversation again this year as well.
And it was close. There were people that were surprised he didn't win it last year at that point. So you got to think he's going to be in the mix again this year. No doubt about that.
Lucas Bonilla lines up for the kickoff. And here is the boot. It's going to be fielded around the 5-yard line. Now on the run back, a little unfriendly fire there. Puts a stop to that return. 2 Marauders collided. There is a flag down on the near side of the field around the 27-yard line.
There was a couple of them. You see that they both saw that foul. Usually on a kickoff, 9.5 times out of 10 it goes against that receiving team right there.
So this is going to back up the Marauders offense here a little bit.
And this is just kind of the way this second half turned. Even though it was a great start, it seems to be this is exactly what's happened to St. Joe's right here in the second half.
Braden Manns has played the entirety of the second half. He takes the snap here on first down. It's going to be a give, working along the right side, going off tackle there on the right side of the offensive formation is Owen Kaczynski, and he picks up a modest gain on first down. Gain of 3 for Kaczynski.
So, Tanner, you now will have seen all the 3 Monsignor Martin teams, right? So you've heard all the rankings and everybody that's out there. What do you think now?
I don't see how you put anyone but this Crusader team at number 1, just with the run game they have, the two-headed monster at running back. Even Mateo Brusco, he hasn't had to do a lot today, but he's made some big-time throws. Here's a give to Owen Kaczynski, and he is going to carry that one for a first down. Last year in the regular season meeting between these two teams, Owen Kaczynski had 2 receptions, 23 yards, and a touchdown.
So everybody, after this game everybody has got a big, big circle, especially if this stays the way it is, for the Canisius St. Francis matchup. That should be one heck of a matchup right there. But everybody is circling the calendar now to see that game.
I think Canisius and St. Francis have definitely established themselves as the top two here in the Monsignor Martin. There's Kaczynski getting the call on first down, and he'll pick up about 2 yards there out to the 30.
Yeah, what we're going to look at in that matchup is the exact thing you talked about when this game started. We needed to see what the lines look like. We needed to see what line play was going to be. So now the question will be, how does St. Francis's line match up to Canisius so that they can run the ball like we're seeing Canisius run today, but also have enough time to pass because they have an amazing quarterback over there at St. Francis as well.
Here's Mans. He's going to heave this one up down the field. Cameron Chin goes up, high points it, and it's taken away. Intercepted by Darnell Gallimore.
No.
They say incomplete.
He said he hit the ground, yep.
Yes.
But I thought that was one heck of a play, too, right there, Tanner. I was with you.
Looked like at first it was going to be an improbable catch there, contested catch by Cameron Chin, as he had a step there, but great recovery by Gallimore. Looked like he ripped it away, but they say no.
I'll tell you, it looked like the ball got hung up a little too long in the air that you saw Gallimore be able to get back, and it just looked like it held up there a little bit longer than what St. Joe's wanted it to be held up in the air. But we said that, that wind could also be having an effect a little bit out there. And look, it's changed directions. That wind is blowing against them right there and could really have helped keep that ball up in the air a little bit longer.
And give credit to Darnell Gallimore. He's shown some instances in this game that he has some great closing speed when needed. Now here is Mans. He's going to tuck it and run, and he has the first down, and he's still going. Gets pile driven to the ground there, but he gets the first down. Jalen Hawkins on the stop.
Most points ever scored in a rivalry game was 2009, a Canisius 58-34 Monsignor Martin championship win. We want to thank Tim Wegren for some of his stats that he's been throwing at us. We've got an update from Orchard Park. Orchard Park is now up 30-19 with 3 minutes left in the game. They converted on the 4th and 11 with a 16-yard touchdown.
First down, it looks like that defensive line for Canisius jumped again, and it is encroachment on them. And, Tom, you just reminded me of something there. Most combined points in one of these rivalry games. The most combined points in a game in this series history was that 2011 49-47 game, 95 combined points.
Orchard Park just picked off them, and they're running out the clock now. So Orchard Park will get a big win over Jamestown to change things up in the AA conference.
Mans throws quick, and he's got a first down completion. Looks like Jay Ostrander made the play over on the far side of the field, indeed.
On the show Wednesday, I told everybody, do not count Orchard Park out inside that conference. Understand they had that rough loss to Health Sciences, but they were in a great game with Lancaster and now taking out Jamestown. So think about some of that. Jamestown beats Lancaster. Lancaster beats Orchard Park. It really is going to see what happens right here to see who may be first or second inside that division or get home games. Don't count out Niagara Falls. Don't count out Bennett. We can see a great AA division starting to come to shape.
First down and 10. Braden Downey jumped early there. It's going to be a false start. We've seen movement now from both trenches. Most of them have gone against Canisius, but now St. Joe's gets pinched there with the false start. Makes it 1st and 15. Under 8 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Canisius seeking their 12th straight win of the series. First down and 15, Braden Mans. He's going to throw this one deep, and that is incomplete. He was looking for Gunther,
Canisius holds on here. Canisius would now be a staggering 22-1 since that 2011 win on a 2-point play, 48-47 in 2011. 14 years.
Karan Gentry was in coverage there. And now here's Mans. He's going to roll right. Now he throws. That is caught by Kaczynski, and he steps out of bounds there along the far sideline. He got some of the lost penalty yardage back and then some to make it third down. And that is correct, Tom. Canisius has won 21 of the last 22 meetings, winners of the last 11 straight, and included in that last 11 straight, they've won 7 straight games at home here. Have Canisius. The last time they lost to Joe's at home was September 21st, 2019, where they lost 32-21. Over the last 7 Canisius Joe's games played here, they have outscored the Marauders by a staggering margin of 304-29. Here's Mans. He throws this one sidearm. It's caught by Kaczynski, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage. And just going back to that, I mentioned the Crusaders outscoring the Marauders 304-29 in the last 7 home games for Canisius, and they have shut out the Marauders in 5 of those last 7 games. Here, not quite a shutout, but they're winning no less.
Well, I'll tell you, too, if you had to pick one player of the game in this one, you got to struggle a little bit for that one. You really do.
Fourth down, you have no choice but to go for it here at this point. It's a swing past Kaczynski. There's flags down in the offensive backfield. And
that's going to be a hold that's going to come back.
He was close to getting the first down there, but the play obviously won't count due to a hold. Looks like they did have the yardage necessary to pick up the first down there, but play is negated due to a hold, brings up fourth down and long. Clock running, under 6.5 remaining in this fourth quarter. On fourth down, here's the snap. Mans, they send pressure. Here comes Hernandez. He has to step through it. He fires on the move. It is caught, and staying on his feet there. Looks like that's Davion Becker. He had the scoop and score earlier, and now he's got a fourth down conversion for the Marauders. What a play from Becker.
Boy, you saw multiple things. Don't give up on a play. 2 guys show that right there, show their athleticism. What a great play right there by Joes. You can see steps up in the pocket nicely, gets it off, Mans, and then you can see gets him in. If he doesn't break that tackle, it's still not a first down, and he breaks that tackle beautifully to get it down within the red zone.
And Mans got hammered there.
Yes.
Amir Hernandez forced him to step right up into pressure, but he was unfazed, able to get the throw off, and now first down and 10. Here is Mans. They give to Kaczynski, and he is down at the 10. It's up about 5 there. And now it looks like a timeout is taken, so we'll take one here as well. Actually, no, we won't. We'll keep it right here. And while we have a chance, we will take a moment to thank our featured sponsors for this game. Those being Damon University, Richmond Vona, Logistics Plus of Buffalo, G&G Fitness Equipment, Wingnuts Buffalo, SUNY Cortland, and we would also like to thank Pathfinder College Planning, Dan Cha-Cha Injury Attorneys, 510 Toy Shop and Sports Cards, The Mental Match with Sam Recco, Canisius High School, St. Joseph's Collegiate Institute, St. Francis High School, the Trench Trophy, Lewis & Lewis PC, Colvin Cleaners, and B&T Supply Western Division. Timeout taken here in the late stages of the fourth quarter. For Canisius, we told you a little bit about head coach Mike Corona. They are led by Craig Kurzanski, who is a member of the Canisius High School Athletic Hall of Fame. He was inducted in '02 for his achievements as a player in both football and baseball. Earned all Western New York first team honors as a center in 1983. And now he's in his second stint here as the Crusaders head coach. Here is Braden Mans in the shotgun on second down. Takes the snap. It's a give to Kaczynski. And now gets inside the 10 before he is taken down. Now third down and short. Man in motion, whistle. And it's going to be a false start against the Marauders. Clock continues to roll, under 4.5 remaining. Going to be third down and long here. Here's the shotgun snap. It's going to be a pitch to Kaczynski. He's got Mans out in front as a lead blocker, and he is taken down there. Gains back the lost penalty yardage, but it'll be fourth down still here for the Marauders. Under 4 here, left in the fourth quarter. Canisius, if all holds, they'll move to 2-2 on the season, and Joes will drop to 2-2 as well. Here's the throw from Mans. He fires, and that one is incomplete. The closest one to it was Darnell Gallimore. He's had a couple plays today.
Kind of sums up the day right there, not being able to just finish off that drive that they really wanted to just put some more points up on the board. But it just shows, really, this Canisius team is going to be a tough team to take out. And like I said earlier in this matchup, I'm dying to see, though, the next, which would be the St. Francis Canisius matchup that we're all looking forward to see right here. But if you remember, last year, St. Francis beats Joe's the first time in the regular season and then took them out in the semifinals to get back to the finals. They got better as the season went along, so do not count this St. Joe's team out, even if they lose this game right here. Do not count them out in the overall mix of things.
Hand off to Kimball, looking for somewhere to go. Doesn't have it as new quarterback in the game for Canisius. It is number 17, Nathaniel Lindstrom. And there is a flag down as well.
That's going to go against Canisius right there.
Nathaniel Lindstrom, the junior quarterback, transferred from St. Francis.
Okay, looks like I got some other scores for us. Chautauqua Lake right now wins over CSP 14-12. And if you remember, that's Ty Harper going back to CSP where he's been coaching in that matchup and gets the victory. Orchard Park has won 30-19, and it looks like Iroquois and Lackawanna are tied up 14-14 in their matchup.
So first down after the penalty, Lindstrom in the shotgun. Terrence Shuford is the back. He had a forced fumble earlier in this game on defense.
And then the other score that came in, which is the final, Ken West did defeat Frontier 40-20 in that matchup. So that's pretty much the docket for the day right there of all the teams that were out there playing.
Under 2 minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter. Canisius now should win their 12th straight game in this rivalry, 8th straight at home, 22 out of the last 23. Lindstrom pulls it out, throws that one, is incomplete. The intended target on that play was the freshman Mac David, who has a 76-inch wingspan, fun fact. Got long arms, does David, but couldn't reel it in there.
But like you said, this is a freshman with that kind of wingspan. He's probably not done growing yet. That wingspan could get even bigger out there.
Canisius, as I mentioned earlier, they will jump up to 2-2 on the season. The last time they were above 500 after their first 3 games of the season was in the 22-23 season. They started 2-1 that year. They started 0-3 in 2023 and 1-2 in 2024 and this season as well. Here is Lindstrom with the give there, and nothing going on that third down play. And Canisius will start out the year 1-0 in Monsignor Martin play. They finished 5-0 in Monsignor Martin play overall last season, regular season and playoffs. They outscored their Monsignor Martin opponents last year by a combined margin of 183-93. And they failed to score under 30 points in only one of those 5 games. A timeout is called. We'll keep it right here. And again, we'd like to take some time before we get on out of here to thank our featured sponsors for making today's broadcast possible. Damon University, Richmond Vona, Logistics Plus of Buffalo, G&G Fitness Equipment, Wingnuts Buffalo, SUNY Cortland, in addition to Pathfinder College Planning, Dan Cha-Cha Injury Attorneys, 510 Toy Shop and Sports Cards, The Mental Match with Sam Recco, Canisius High School, St. Joseph's Collegiate Institute, St. Francis High School, the Trench Trophy, Lewis & Lewis PC, Colvin Cleaners, and B&T Supply Western Division. Big win here for this Canisius team and for Coach K as well. He comes into this game with an overall record of 177, 114, and 2 in 32 seasons. Currently sits 15th on Western New York's all-time win list, has the second highest win total among active coaches, trailing only Jerry Smith of St. Francis, who sits at 196. And now here's the punt from Lucas Bonilla. This one's going to take a bounce, and it's going to be fielded by Thompson here on the run back down the near sideline and gets tripped up inside the 30-yard line. 1:04 left to play.
So now this is a game to build off for both teams. Canisius now understands what's happening a little bit inside the Monsignor Martin division. They've already come out and showed you what they're capable of doing. Joe says, okay, this is what we now need to clean up. Obviously, there's a lot of players. 33 players they lost to graduation. So this is a lot of these players the first time that they're playing in a rivalry game like this. They've experienced it now. They've got something under their belt. They've got to go ahead and make some adjustments. And we'll see what those adjustments look like as we head to the playoffs, which is not far away, as silly as it sounds.
Braden Mans is going to roll to his right, keeps himself, and he'll gain a couple there on first down. As the clock continues to run here, Canisius now the victors in 12 straight games here. That's their longest win streak in series history. 22 of the last 23, 8 straight at home. Here's Mans, takes the snap, he fires, and him and his intended target, Gunther, not on the same page there, so that stops the clock with 22 seconds remaining.
So, Tanner, I'll put you on the spot. Give me your player of the game.
Oh, just one?
You got to pick one. Give me who is it?
I got to say Eli Kimball, just with his rushing touchdowns alone, went over 200 yards. Obviously, a big day with him passing Quadri Olison is the all-time leading rusher in school history. So as tough as it is, obviously Amir Hernandez had a great day. Darnell Gallimore had a good day on defense. Here is a screen pass that's caught by Jalen McMillan, and McMillan is going to pick up the first down on third. And that'll stop the clock here as they move the chains. Oh, looks like a timeout was called. That is the third and final Joe's timeout. But again, going back to it, I think for the reasons I stated, Eli Kimball would be my player of the game. But obviously, Amir Hernandez with his career-high 4 rushing touchdowns. Saw some defensive players make some plays. Javez Caldwell with his sack on the first drive. Darnell Gallimore made a number of plays in the pass game. Terrence Shuford had a forced fumble. So there's any number of ways you could go with it. But just given the history that was made today and the overall performance, I would give it to Kimball. Now let me turn the tables. Who would you give it to, Tom?
You know, you made a great assessment when it came to Kimball, because it, to me, would be between Hernandez and Kimball. But you had, like you said, Hernandez 4 touchdowns today is something. But when you become the all-time leading rusher in the history of your school, there's something more that's also coming into that. And you've got to give Kimball a ton of credit. And I agree with you. I would give it to Kimball as well.
First down, Mans is going to throw the fade ball to the end zone. It's incomplete, and the flags are going to come out there. As draped all over the intended receiver in coverage was the sophomore Markel Hunt.
So some great matchups, though, in Western New York today, and excited to see some of the different divisions are starting to shape up. This is the first time we've seen something in division for Monsignor Martin, so this is huge to be able to get a little bit of an understanding here. Like, we're excited. There's some great things that we're starting to see in Western New York football right now.
The average margin of victory in this series for Canisius is 18.8 points per game. Here's a throw. That one is incomplete. It's knocked away, and it looks like another flag coming in on Markel Hunt as him and Deion Cheatham Jr. are going to presumably exchange pleasantries down there in the end zone.
Yeah, but there was a second late flag, so there's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty here. The question is, does it go both ways, or does it go towards one team? So this will be interesting to see what happens here.
It's Coach K down there on the sidelines giving the young player Markel Hunt a talking to. The first penalty is going to go against Hunt. It's going to be unsportsmanlike on the Crusaders
both
as
went,
well.
yeah, both went against them. We have a final. Iroquois has defeated Lackawanna 21-14 in that one.
And now to put a bow on this one, firing to the end zone. That is caught for the touchdown by Cameron Chin. That is his second touchdown of the day. So back-to-back weeks with multiple touchdowns for Cameron Chin, and that will make it 45-27. And I don't believe we'll attempt a point after here, as it will obviously not impact the outcome of the game.
No, it scored. You're going to have to. You still have to go through the extra point.
All right, I guess we're doing it. Even though it's immaterial at this point to the outcome of this game, we'll do it anyway. Here is the point after. Snap down, kick on the way. And it is good. But the Crusaders move to 2-2 on the season. 1-0 in Monsignor Martin play. The 103rd meeting all time here between these two teams. The Crusaders have won, making it now 22 of the last 23. 12 straight, 8 straight at home. Big win here early on to open up Monsignor Martin play here for the Crusaders. Tom, your final thoughts here before we wrap this thing up.
This was a great game. We said you need to dominate the trenches to see who was going to win. Both teams wanted to run the ball, and Canisius came out and did exactly what they wanted to and played the game they wanted to play.
We mentioned the team stats there and as well the individual stats. Elijah Kimball stands alone here in Canisius football history, surpassing Quadri Olison as the all-time leading rusher in Canisius history. That's going to do it for us. For everybody in our broadcast crew, including our bevy of camera operators, Russ Battaglia, Joe Turry, Mario Hall. Thanks to Tim Gardner for magnificent work, as always, our on-site technical producer. For my color man, Tom Prince, this is Tanner Saunders saying thank you for listening to this presentation of Monsignor Martin football here on Western New York Athletics.